In this video, we're talking about the Apollo Air, looking at its price, features, and what makes it special. We'll also discuss the Apollo Air Pro and what you get if you spring for a higher-end model. The Apollo Air comes in at $550, falling pretty square in the middle of budget commuter scooters. You can look to the Highboy S2 or the Xiaomi Mi to find similarly priced scooters. In this price range, we can expect to see quality builds, decent speeds, and overall a scooter that's meant for getting around town rather than ripping up roads or trails. The Apollo Air offers max speeds of 15 miles per hour and a 12-mile range. For the price, these numbers are solid, but just a touch lower than I'd hoped for, especially the range. It seems like the cost goes towards the Air's major selling point, which is its sporty ride. Before we go ahead, I want to mention that I've only tried the Apollo Air and not the Air Pro. There are pictures of both here, and I'll discuss the advantages of the Pro, but I'll mostly focus on the base Air model. Now let's take a look why the Apollo Air is such a sporty scooter. First, the Apollo Air has some serious tires. It comes with 10-inch pneumatic tires, but what's really unique here is how wide the treads are. Part of the tire that hits the ground is huge compared to pretty much every other commuter scooter I've seen. This means you feel confidently connected to the road and you can really play around while riding. The turning ability of the Air really stands out, as the wide tire allows you to make sharper turns because there's more surface area connecting with the pavement. With other scooters, I often feel a little rigid, often stopping completely to make a turn. With the Apollo Air though, you can really carve out the roads. The next sporty feature to call out here is the suspension in the front. It's got a good amount of give, and I've seen a couple videos of people jumping on the board to show just how good it is. I personally don't like pushing scooters this way because they're so expensive and I don't want to break them, but I felt the impact with the smoothness of the ride. Moving to the handlebars, I think the only word for them is sleek. The scooter overall looks super modern and clean, and other reviews compare it to race cars or Kit from Knight Rider. Personally, the design reminds me of Batman. The handlebars are fairly wide, and the scooter comes with my favorite combo of a throttle on the right and a traditional handbrake on the left. The display in the middle is clean and minimal, which is another plus for me. Now hitting on the deck, the Apollo Air has one of my favorite designs. It's fairly wide to begin with, but it has a nice design of being wider in the front and narrower in the back. This not only looks cool, but it also gives you room for both of your feet. When riding, your feet have a small area of overlap, and the width at the front gives that extra room so you don't feel crowded. So, smart design here. Looking at the back wheel, the Apollo Air comes with a pretty comprehensive fender that does a great job of blocking water being splashed up onto you or the board. With other scooters, you often feel the need to slow down in puddles to avoid getting sprinkled, but I found that the Apollo shielded me completely. Now going on to some things that I don't like. The first is the folding. The mechanism for folding itself is pretty good, but the shape of the Apollo Air when folded isn't great for portability. It folds fairly high up on the tiller, then latches to the end of the board rather than on the back wheel, creating a pretty sharp angle. Because the tiller isn't flat when folded, it makes balancing and moving with the scooter kind of awkward. Next, I noticed that the kickstand is a little tricky to get out. It's nested in a shallow recession in the side of the deck, which tucks in to the side. You have to be a little more thoughtful when trying to get the kickstand down because it's hidden in there. Not a huge issue, but something to note. Before we talk about who should buy the scooter, please give a like if you're finding the information in the video to be helpful. It helps us review scooters and make videos just like this one. In my mind, the Apollo Air is a premium commuter scooter. Not because it has more range or power, but because it feels like the racing car of commuter scooters. It has superior traction and turning, so I recommend it for anyone who wants to have a little more fun when riding around. Riding a normal commuter scooter is always fun, as you can zoom around your town and city, but it can feel a little restricted in terms of agility. The Apollo Air can offer more of a continuous ride as you carve up intersections with the wide tires and weather any bumps with its nice suspension. So you can do a little more than just commute with the scooter. There is a premium version of the Air called the Air Pro, and again, I haven't tried this model, so I'll simply discuss the different characteristics. For the most part, the builds are the same, but there are a couple of key differences. First, the Apollo Air comes in at $700, making it $150 more than its little brother. For this price, you get an increased range of 18 miles, faster speeds up to 18 miles per hour, and two major differences at the front of the scooter. We can see the comparison here, with the Pro having a dual forked suspension and a front drum brake, which is a little tough to see. As you'd expect, the Pro goes further and faster, and it also offers some more quality of ride features. The Apollo Air is the sleekest electric scooter I've seen, and its design complements how it rides. It's priced similarly to other mid-range commuter scooters, and though its speed and range are slightly lower than I'd like, it makes up for it with a sporty ride. The wide tire treads, large deck, and suspension make for a ride that is simply more fun and dynamic than any other scooter in this price range. If you're looking for a scooter that does a little more than get you from point A to point B, this is the one for you.